Hi everyone, it's Wendy, and I want to share with you today 12 travel tips that you should be thinking about before you lock that front door and head to the airport to catch your flight. So let's get right at it, all right? First one is one that I just found out maybe 10 years ago, and I thought it was a great idea. And then I told everybody, and they said, well, they already knew that. That's pretty logical. But just in case you didn't either, the tip is to, when you go to another country, you go to your hotel and you pick up the business card for that hotel. So if you're in a country where they don't speak the English and you don't speak their language and you're lost, like I often get lost, you can hop in a cab or a taxi or talk to somebody and they will whisk you off to your hotel where you will be safe. Okay, so that's a really, it's so logical and so easy. The next one is when you're booking your trip, make sure that you are looking at the currency that you're going to book in. USD and Canadian dollar are very different right now, so make sure that you have got the right currency. The next one, number 3, get your vaccines. Oh my goodness, when I was a travel agent, I booked a lady on an Asian cruise in China, and she was taking her grandson for his 16th birthday or something, and he got all his shots. And she told me flat out, I don't need shots. I'm healthy as a horse. I'm in my 50s. I'm strong and I'm healthy. I'm not getting any shots. Okay. Well, she didn't. And she came home and she was sick for 2 months. And she lost a lot of weight and she was not well at all. So please get your vaccines. It is so worth it. Next one. All right, laptops, medications, important documents should be in your carry-on luggage when you get on a plane. You don't want to put your laptop in your luggage, in your checked luggage, because if it gets lost, you may find that the airplane, the company, is not going to reimburse you for it because they don't know it was in there. You just said it was, but they don't know if it really was. And of course, you may need your medications and your important documents. So have everything there for, I would say, probably a 24-hour period in your carry-on when you get on. Okay, so that way you're covered in case anything should happen. And speaking of documents, let's go on to the next one. On this one, you may say, well, it's such pain. I don't want to do it, but do it anyway. Make a photocopy of all the important documents that you have: your passport, your driver's license if you're driving in another country, your itinerary, anything and everything that you need, your insurance documents, photocopy them and put them in your carry-on luggage. Then I want you to scan all those same documents and put them in on your phone. And then take that scan and send them to somebody you trust at home, so that when you find that you've lost your carry-on or it's been stolen, you've got it on your phone. And if you lose your phone, you've got it in your carry-on. And if you lose both of those things, well, somebody at home has got all those documents that can be forwarded to you when you go to the consulate to get your new passport and all the documents that you're going to need, okay? So that's important, do it up front so that you don't have to worry about it later. All right, okay, customs. Now, when you go to another country, you are a guest in their country, and they may have some odd customs that you may not agree with or you don't like, but you are a guest of theirs. So go do a Google search and find out what they are. It was not appropriate to be in a Muslim country running around in a bikini and drunk. They're going to take exception to that. You might just get the boot. So that's something you should know. Same with if you're going to India or someplace like that has temples, and they say you cannot go in with cutoffs and a tank top. You're going to have to wear a shawl, and you wear appropriate clothing, a sweater or something. So take the time. You're a guest. Dress appropriately. All right. Next, I do not want to talk Yeah, I don't want to sell you travel insurance, but I do want to talk about it for just a second here. When you are buying insurance, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, I have enough insurance on my credit card." Well, no, you don't. And if you read the insurance on your credit card, you'll find out that you don't. Unless, of course, you're one of those few people who have platinum cards that cost a fortune and then they've got everything. But that's rare. And I don't care whether you have a regular credit card or a travel card, they don't cover as much as regular travel insurance does. So you can do a comparison. I will put a link down below, and you can check to make sure what's covered. You know what basically is covered and how much is covered, because you're going to want insurance to cover your luggage. You're going to want it to cover your health. Cancellation insurance is if you know a week before your trip you break your leg and you decide not to go. Boy, I've seen so many people lose their money on those things, because they didn't think they'd need it. They're healthy, they're fine. Well, okay, you've lost all your money on that trip. So keep that in mind. Plus, the hospital bills in some countries are just outrageous. So if you happen to be going to the United States and you hurt yourself and you're in the hospital for a couple of days, you're going to come home with $100,000 bill. And I know one lady who went down there and she was in the hospital for, I think she said something 5-6 hours. She came home with a $35,000 bill. So unfortunately, she had the insurance to cover it, but still, that's a huge amount of money. Can you afford that? No. Another thing you should consider is some countries won't even let you leave until you have made arrangements to have your bill paid. Let's see what else. You're on a trip. You're on an adventure trip, and you've got insurance, and you have decided. Oh, somebody said, let's go skydiving or let's go rock climbing. You say, okay, but you didn't know that your insurance doesn't cover those kind of adventure travel because that's considered high risk. So if you're planning on doing that, make sure you got the coverage. But there is an exception. One exception that I have is car insurance. When I go and rent a car in another country, I use my credit card. Okay, I've had 2 windshields cracked from flying rocks, and both times my credit card said, "Don't pay, just give them our information, and that we'll take care of it for you." And they did. No out of pocket for me at all. It was all taken care of. So when it comes to something like that, you might just want to use your credit card. But check into it. Make sure you've got enough coverage for your trip. Speaking of insurance, one more point. There is such a thing called, and I'm using this one as an example because I sold this. It's called MedJet, but there are other companies very similar to it. And what they do is if you're in hospital in another country, and if you have MedJet insurance, they will send a jet to pick you up and take you to a hospital of your choice in your country. So if you want to go to see your own doctor and be in your own country or your own city, they will take care of it all. And I'm telling you, it is very inexpensive. I think it's a couple $100 a year. And they will tell you, they have all the equipment on board. They're jets. They're beautiful jets. They have a doctor. I think they have a doctor. They have a couple nurses, and they will take you where you want to go. So perfect. They will evacuate you to the nearest hospital, the hospital in your country. And a lot of insurance companies don't do that. Okay, so let's shift over to groups. Okay, so a lot of people think, and I was one of them before I became a travel agent, a group is a bunch of people who are traveling on a big bus or everybody's going together. And that's not really true. When you are going on, it was sometimes like a company like Vision Travel, who I worked with at the time, they would buy up a block of rooms, either on a cruise or something. Okay, so they bought up a block and they want to wrap it into a package and sell it themselves. And a lot of times with that, you get a really good price. So you're not traveling with all those other people. You're not going to sit beside them and be their best friend. You're just buying a room that has the travel company has purchased as a group. So you can get better pricing or their pricing, okay? And they can roll in all the extras that they want to do. All right. So you don't have to worry about that. Check with your travel agent. Where are we? Okay. If you don't like ship tenders, then don't go on a big ship, okay? Because you are going to be tendering, and tendering can take a couple of hours sometimes. And I can't stand doing that. I want to go right into port. So your smaller cruise lines can do that, all right? So check that when you're booking. Are you going to go into port or are you going to tender? Some ships are small enough, like Silver Sea. They have cruises that go right under London's Tower Bridge. And a lot of ships can't do that. So that's something to consider. But I think even Silver Seas can't do this anymore. It's going into Venice Historic Center. If the ship is over 25,000 gross tons, it can't go right into the San Basilio, terminal. Okay, so you're going to be bussed. Oh, so yeah, if you want to go right in, you got to be in a smaller ship. So make sure that you're going in where they can actually dock. Okay, check out the ports. How are you going to get into port? I think this is the last one. Nope, second last. Okay, if you are booking air and you're doing it yourself, remember you are expected to read the fine print. A lot of flights you can't cancel. Or if you can cancel, you're not going to get your money back. You get a credit. And even though you have a credit, you're going to be booking next time at that price, the price that is offered on that day. It's not going to be the same price as you paid for on the original flight. So there's all sorts of things you have to consider, especially with these new things coming out now. Like WestJet just came out with a new price fare called Ultra Basic. Well, it's the silliest thing because you're not allowed to take any luggage with you. And if you want to buy a carry-on, and I mean this, I'm talking about you can't even take a carry-on on this flight. If you want to, well, then you have to buy this package. And by the time you're finished, you've really just bought into the next level up, economy or ultra economy. So that's new and it's always changing. So look into that. Okay, here's my last one, and it's a really simple one. It's when I get on flights and sometimes there's little children and there's little babies who are crying away, and we all know that babies will do what they want. You can't tell them what to do. Or you've got some people who are very loud or are watching a football game and they've only got little earbuds in that everybody around them can hear it. I have Bose, these things right here. There, see? Bose noise cancellation headphones, and they are worth their weight in gold. Now I know there are others. Mine are Bose, and I love them, and I take them everywhere I go because noise is gone. Noise is gone. You can listen to your TV shows, or you can listen to music, and you can't hear another thing, and it's just wonderful. So that's it for today. I hope you got some tips that you can use. My next video is going to be out in a few days, and it's going to be about shopping for gifts for mature people who have everything. That's from very inexpensive gifts to something that is just wow. So yeah, I got that problem in my family. I have family members who don't need a darn thing, and as we get older, a lot of us don't need anything that doesn't cost a fortune. So it's nice to just give them a little thing or something inexpensive or something to make them laugh. So yeah, check for that. And I think I'm going to put 2 links below. I think so. I put the link for the insurance coverage comparison with your credit cards. And what was the other one? I don't remember. Oh well, doesn't matter. The links will be below. So I hope you got something out of this. All right. Thanks, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, and I forget this all the time. If you like my content, please subscribe below and follow me so you'll know when my next video comes out. Okay, and I think that's it. All right, talk to you later. Bye.